Good morning, or afternoon, or good night, wherever you are in the world. I just wanted to do something different. We walked into the park, and I just wanted to tell y'all to have patience with yourself, have patience with the process. And as I talk to y'all, I'm talking to myself because it can be really easy to get impatient, especially when you have goals, things that you thought you'd see them by now. You thought that things would be different, or you just thought that the process would be a little bit easier to get to where you want to go. Not easy meaning like no work at all. Hold on. But just easier meaning that all this stuff wouldn't be coming up. So as of late, I'll just say the month of April has been quite a month for me and my family. I lost somebody that was a very important part of my family. So there's a whole adjusting to that. There's checking up on my mom, who lives about an hour away, and just spending a whole lot of time with her, or at least initially when it happened, just being there for her as much as I could. And then just with life in general, y'all, I'm still I'm still newly married. I haven't been married a year yet, and so we just hit 8 months yesterday. And there's that whole adjustment. Since 2024, which was last year, I have gotten fired. That's where that video, Work for God and Not Man, that's why I posted that. That was the inspiration behind that video, because I believe I was wrongfully terminated. And I know that might sound like a huge cop-out, but I truly believe that I was. And that happened in December of last year, so I'm still kind of debating if I have time to fight it or if it's worth fighting. Because if I can get some compensation, trust me, I'd love to. But since then, I've been working part-time, and some people might be like, oh, well, you're working part-time and you're obviously doing okay. Well, yes and no, because even though I'm glad for more time, the more time that I have, that's still less money that I was receiving. $1,000 can make a difference. And so it's still an adjustment. And even having a husband that wants to be like the sole provider for the both of us, and me only work part-time and eventually not work at all, the process in getting there is not easy. I'm not trying to put all my business out there, but financially, it hasn't been it just hasn't been any better since I've stopped working full-time. And so there's that whole adjustment. There's me figuring out, okay, well, how can I maximize on my time? And then what can I do what are all the things that I want to do now that I have this time? And potentially see if I can make money from that without being stressed out. You know what I'm saying? It's just like all this stuff plays a part in the process and the journey. And I'm one of them people that is really hard, or it's really easy for me to get impatient. I've never been diagnosed with ADD or ADHD, but I wouldn't be shocked if I had it. I have a lot of ideas in my head, and I'm black and white. I don't, when it comes to focusing, I I can focus. I can have tunnel vision like you've never seen and get stuff done. And that's the best way for me to get things done. When I'm on one side of the fence and not the other. When I'm solely focused on one thing, get out the way because I'm plowing through. But when you but when you have a husband, even though you may have more time, when you have a husband that has needs, that has desires, that would like some of that time now that you have some of it back because you're not working as much anymore. When you go through a life transition like losing somebody in your family and you have to see about other family, and also when you're still trying to figure out your groove, your flow for life, and balancing, okay, well, I have this time, but I have less money, so how do I make up for that? You have to figure something out. And so, a lot of people are just like, okay, well, there are all these app jobs and you can find work, and Uber is great. And I have to say, my attempts to do Uber, it's just been really, really slow. I prefer to deliver food as opposed to people. But now it's at the point where it's just kind of like, I might just have to bite the bullet and start driving people. Just because that's how bad it's been in terms of, like, I'll be sitting in the car for hours or for an hour or two. I've had to limit myself to just an hour. And if I don't get nothing in an hour, then, I'll drive around, but then I have to get off. So it's like, yeah, we have opportunities to make money using these independent contracting apps like Lyft and Uber and Shipt and all that stuff. But it has to be busy wherever you are. And, you have to be willing to learn the area. If you're not familiar with it, you have to be willing to travel. You have to be willing to spend more gas. That's more time. That's all of that stuff plays into your own schedule that you may have already, like, your desired schedule may be from, okay, wake up at 6 and then from 6:30 to 10 do Uber. But if it's slow, or if you have to travel an hour to go to where it's busy, that's an adjustment. You understand what I mean? So all these things, I think that hustle culture, and even myself, I'm guilty of it. Sometimes we can cut ourselves short and put more pressure and anxiety on ourselves because we're so cookie cutter and we're so direct and we're so focused and we're so, hey, no excuses. 24/7, 365, team no sleep, get it done, figure it out. And it's just like, okay, all that stuff is cool, but you can't negate the fact that other things in life are going on and other things in life are affecting what you want to do in the plan that you have. And that's another thing. Anybody who's younger than me watching, I'm in my 30s, but even if you're older than me, I think this is just a good life lesson. The longer you live, the more you see that life doesn't care about what plans you have, and things change all the time. And yes, when things come out of nowhere, you can be as prepared as you want, but there's still going to be some things that are out of your control that throw you off. And if it doesn't delay you, it still throws you off to where you're discombobulated for a minute and you have to readjust and figure it out. You have to find your new flow in life because this happened, or that change happened, or I got married, or now I have children, or, I thought the job I thought I was gonna be there for the next 5 years, but they had to do cutbacks. Like, all that stuff is life-changing stuff that alternates how you thought things were gonna go. Especially if you're somebody like me who does like plans. I like planning things out, and you can call it a form of control. And my husband is the total opposite. And sometimes that can cause a lot of friction because, anyway, I'm not going to get into it because I feel like I'll be putting him on blast. But yeah, I like having a schedule. My husband is just like, oh, well, I'm flexible, so just tell me and then I'll work it in if I want. And I'm just like, yeah, no, I can't operate like that. I like having stuff locked in for sure. And if you're not sure, let me know so I can be prepared that you may or may not. You know what I mean? I'm that type of person. So with all of that being said, and even when it comes to the job, like, again, I'm grateful I can work part-time, but also it's a huge cutback in terms of pay. And the kind of job I have, I'm grateful that it's flexible, but it's also a sales job. So I don't care what no one says. Selling is performing. So if you don't perform well, your job might give you a little bit of time, but at some point, like if you stay too stagnant for too long, they're going to cut you. And so there's that anxiety or that concern about, okay, I hope I get a lead today, or I hope I get a sale today. Oh my gosh, if I don't, are they going to terminate me? And that could be self-imposed, because I've had several managers tell me, like, that's not 100% the case. Like, if you have a bad week, they're not going to fire you if you have a bad week, which is cool. But then again, that's that control thing. I think ideally for me, I would like to have a job to where I can a job that's part-time, where I can just come in, do my work, do a good job, and go home and be good with it. You know what I mean? So that's something that I have to, every time I go to work, that's something that I have to give to the Lord on purpose, that anxiety, because, if I truly believe He put me here, then I can't worry about that. And all of that ties into, so many things, and just being patient with the process, because I don't think that this is the final stop for me in terms of work, but it's where I'm at right now. And so this is a long video. I wasn't planning for it to be this long, but I guess all of this needed to be said, because like I said, as I speak to y'all, I'm speaking to myself. And I think whoever watches this video, especially if you watch it in its entirety, it was probably supposed to reach you. I'm not going to hashtag nothing. I'm going to let this video find you organically. And I know the algorithm and all of that, but y'all, YouTube hasn't been pushing my videos out. I don't know, like, before 2025, I was getting an average of like 20 views, which is still not a lot, but you would think that the more consistent you are, the more your views will go up. But it's been the total opposite for me. I have 3 videos up right now, and all of them still say no views. So that's why I think whoever watches this, you're probably supposed to watch it. But be patient with the process. Be patient with yourself. You're gonna feel physiologically, you're gonna feel much better. Your anxiety is gonna go down. Your worry is gonna go down. more patience you have with yourself and with others, because everybody's journey is different, y'all. We all learn at different paces. We all grow at different paces. And I think we just have to become okay with our own unique individual processes. Good morning. So, I hope this video encourages somebody in the right direction. And today's Friday, but who knows? You could be watching this on Monday, and that's great. That'll be a perfect day to watch this, so you can finish out the week in a good place. But whatever day you come across this video, let this rest well within your soul. So, I love y'all, and I will see you in the next one.